Okay, anytime you guys are ready, I guess.
Sup,
Introduce me
Rockers? Team
again.
Hentai starting. This is Frost. He's a new member. Team Hentai is not a guest. He's a member. And King Trace is here. Hi.
That was obscenely fast.
Was that your introduction, really?
You can do it over yourself if you want.
Sup, rockers? Just slow down and ballad to 1/10 speed and you'll hear our introduction. Um, this is Team Hentai doing a podcast. This is King Trace here with Invalid. Say hi, Invalid.
Hi.
And our new permanent member, not a guest member, Frost.
We said anything about permanence.
You.
Perm- Permanent in far as if you leave, it'll be a shocker to us.
Oh, well then hi everyone. I guess I'm like bound here by contract.
You're part of the team. Team Hentai.
Yeah.
It means Frost loves hentai like the rest of us.
Actually, the spoilers I actually don't.
Alright, we're gonna start off with something Invalid wants to bitch about. Invalid?
Well, Matthew. You pissed me off the other day.
Tell us about how that made you feel.
Well, obviously it made me feel very down in the dumps and pissed off.
Oh.
He said in Maine something about, the server's dead, it's always dead, the server's dead. And like, really? I didn't notice. Thank you for doing all the work to keep it active that you're doing. Yeah, it just...
Matthew's a little dick.
Yeah, he can be. I'm
Um,
gonna try and play the
Which is
devil's advocate.
humorous because I'm fairly confident he's fat as hell.
no, no, no. It's not Matthew.
Oh, that's not Matthew? Okay.
That's somebody else.
Alright.
But I don't hate Matthew. I've been talking, well, I have been talking to him. He hasn't been talking to me because his mic is broken. But I don't hate
Cool.
him. It just, he pisses me off a lot.
I hate him. Ever since the UE thing, I haven't liked him.
Aw.
Also, I had him on my Minecraft server, and he tried to grief me. It was pretty bad.
He taught me how to play Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, he's good to play Yu-Gi-Oh with. He even let me use one of his decks.
Aw. See, you're best friends.
How did he grief you on Minecraft? How did he grief you, John? Tell the story.
Okay, well, when he joined, I gave him up so he could teleport. He teleported to me, and he starts just punching one of the cows, and I said, don't punch the cows, I need them down here to breed. And he's like, okay, and I just watched him kill 5 cows. And he
You
goes,
just watched
oops,
him.
I accidentally killed your cows. And I went, yeah, I'm sure it was an accident. And he starts punching a villager, and it's not punching by this point, I've given him a sword. And he kills 2 villagers. And he goes, oops, your villagers are dead. And I said, alright, get out
It
of
doesn't
here.
sound much like griefing.
And I said, okay, get out of here. Quit killing the villagers.
He's
He
in your
goes-
base
he
killing your
goes,
dudes.
I'm bored though. I'm like, well, don't do it like that. And I'm sure
I'm
I'm
bored,
sure in
so I
real life,
murder.
I'm sure I sounded a lot more bitchy than I do now. I mean, you're hearing my side of the story, not his.
Hmm.
Stop
Anyway,
killing my
he
villagers
goes
right now!
he goes up to the other city thing, and he goes into creative mode for I can't even remember why, but he had a legitimate reason, and then he didn't go out of it after he was done. So he dug all the way down to bedrock and teleported me to the bottom of the bedrock, and I didn't have anything to get out with, so I just banned him.
Cool.
Dick.
Okay, speaking of Matthew and the server being dead, I just want to bitch about the server for a minute. Or longer, probably, because people piss me off. Since this is my first time here, I'm just gonna bring up my grievances with Pokemon Showdown.
Oh,
I don't
you
know
go
if-
ahead.
You guys have already talked about this probably, but
We
Uh,
talk about everything.
what is wrong with you people there where you just like decide instantly that a place isn't worth your time? You just pop in and then you leave immediately. And it's like, you're expecting something. Like, how does anyone expect a population to accumulate if you literally just like dip your toe in and run?
Because there were Smoganites that stay on 24/7.
And then, oh, that's another thing. I love how any server that doesn't have at least 1,000 people is like kind of dead.
Or totally dead.
Sometimes.
Vortexes the other day had 50, and some kid comes on and goes, server's so dead these days. I'm like, compared to what? When it had 10? Like, what do you mean these days?
It's a legitimate dead server. We take great offense to these
It's like people who think
accusations.
it's like people who think the 1930s were golden years for crime and family values. It was so much better back in the old days.
90s kids. 90s kids.
It's just, I mean, when you're trying to like make things better, and then these douchebags just come in. Like the worst ones are the people who come in and like say hi and act like they're gonna stay, and then they leave right after. Like they don't even give you a chance to respond.
They rip your heart out.
They do. It's so cruel because like you say hi and then you realize they're gone and you just sit there and you're like, why would you do this to me?
Yeah, now it looks like you're saying hi to nobody because you're a stupid bitch.
But
Hi.
then people come in and they think you're saying hi to them because we disabled leave and join messages.
That's pretty convenient actually.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you did that.
And then there
Used
was
to be...
this
Oh, go ahead first.
there was this guy today when Invalid and I were on, and he just comes in and he's like, hi, question mark? And I'm just like, hey, what's up? And he's like, I'm confused. She's like, why are you confused? He's like, is this place always so dead? I was like, well, sometimes we have more people. He's like, how many? I was like, why do you want to know? And he's like, just curious. So knowing that if I tell this guy any number less than, like, 6,000, he's going to run away, I just sit there and ignore him. And he's like, it was so to bug you. Like, that's
So
the...
to have bugged you.
Whatever, it was something like that. And, like, why do people think that this is going to make anything better? Like, do they think that if they just come in and bitch or something that it'll make, like, the server fuller, or does it give them, like, some little sense of satisfaction?
No, I you know what it is for us? They kind of, oh look, the server's dead, and they expect you to go, it is?
I never
Oh my
noticed.
god, I haven't realized. You know what? I'm gonna fix that right now, just for you.
Like, let me just magically make it so people come in, because I am a puppet master.
Oh. And also,
That's
I don't get why they like... I don't really get why they like it in Maine. I mean, everything's really slow and glitchy and... Like, half the time when I click find match, I get like 2 at once, so I have to either multitask or just forfeit both.
Yeah, and when I click on buttons and then I hit cancel, I stopped doing this for the specific reason. It would use my move 3 times in a row. And then it would let me choose my move again, and I would look like the biggest dumbass because I'd be giving fucking herbivore users a double boost and just sitting there, and I'd be like, what the fuck is this thing doing to me?
And like the other thing, you can't even talk there. Like, I don't know why anyone bothers saying anything in Maine, because no one will answer you. I've tried, like, I was looking for a certain user to help with CSS stuff once, and I asked if anyone knew when he would be on. And your question just goes completely unanswered. Like, everyone's talking about whatever the fuck they want to talk about there. No one is saying anything to each other. It just, like, you say one thing, and it's like, it gets carried away in an instant by, like, a swarm of other messages.
Or muted.
Yeah, exactly, but depending on what you say. Like, when we first started our server and we were mildly successful, on a weekly basis, I would have people come in and just ask me if a mod called the Great Sage could ban them on our server. I was just like, why on earth would you think that? And they're like, because he bans everyone. And like, you know, Smallgun has everything, so maybe they can ban me here too. And I was like, no, Smallgun has nothing to do with this place. But, like, what I'm getting at here is that Maine sucks in every way. You can't talk to anyone. Your battles are broken.
Dude. Maine is actually pretty sweet if you want to hate on gays, because the word faggots is not a mutable offense. The word genitalia certainly is, at least with my personal experience.
I love that.
8 equals D
Someone's
is bannable on both servers.
Huh?
8 equals D is bannable on both servers. PO
Yeah,
main and Smogan main.
Someone said, everyone, they were having an argument. He said, you're a stupid faggot, and it didn't get banned. But then, same day, a few hours later, someone said, hello, lol, it's a joke about genitalia because someone was making an obvious penis joke, and he got banned for saying genitalia.
Well, it's because the thing is, the mods are the same as the user. They're like 12-year-old little fuckheads, and they're like, middle school kids and like little brats. Always like, faggot is like the most commonly used word in the world. It's like their go-to thing.
Yeah, it's like basically like Pokemon is now Call of Duty.
Pretty much. And so
they're not gonna. It's like the extra thing. They're not gonna ban faggot because everybody's using it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have like this little mod who's like got the same mentality as his little followers, and he's okay with them saying this, but when you whip out like advanced body part words, oh shit's going down. We can't have that happening,
Oh, Orphis, better ban him.
Oh, he said mouth. Oh god.
You know what that can be used for?
Anything.
By the way, I don't think I've mentioned to either of you guys yet, but I had this idea for a clan war, and I told Matthew about it. We're probably going to have it between RT and his clan.
You can spectate.
You can spectate. All the viewers that are still watching at this point. Oh man, thank you so much. And I'm not being sarcastic. Thank you. I don't
know how they put up with me in this thing so far. By the end of this, they're gonna be like hunting me down with pitchforks.
The war
I'd hunt you down.
The war is it's a random bat war. It's gonna be however many members we can get on. We haven't decided on the size yet, but
House sub.
What?
House sub.
Okay. The first match will just be a regular random battle match, and then for whoever loses, that person's clan gets to pick the Pokemon of the day for the next match. Pokemon of the day is a setting where, I can say Pokemon of the day is Zoroark, and then every random battle will have Zoroark as the second Pokemon.
Neat.
Well, you probably shouldn't pick Zoroark because that would be boring as shit.
Wasn't boring when I did it the other day, and we battled each other like 3 times, and you didn't even catch on.
Wait, really? That happened?
Yeah.
Well, if everyone knew there were going to be Zoroarks, everyone would be like, oh, I have to be careful, this might be a Zoroark.
Yeah.
Like, if it does anything even remotely out of Pokemon character, everyone's going to be like, oh my god, it's a Zoroark, what are you doing?
If I lose in that, I'm going to say Pokemon of the day Articuno.
Oh god.
Do you think the loser should pick, or do you think the person who plays the next match should pick?
I don't know.
King Tracy missed it.
What did you say?
The new Uber Challenge Cup thing is now Miss Drevis because it has amazing. Apparently, it has Deoxys D bulk with Thunderous T's offensive stats. It's ridiculous. Like I swept Invalid's entire team with Challenge Cup.
And plus,
well, Frost, to be fair, I've swept your entire team with Love Disc, so single instances.
Not as badly as this Miss Drevis. It was tanking super effective hits with less than half damage. It was crazy. We actually were so skeptical, we went in and checked to see if it had its stats boosted as like a trolling thing.
Yeah, like if Zarel just thought it would be hilarious.
Which makes Miss Drevis the best thing ever.
Yeah, when people make random ghost types the best thing ever for no reason, it really makes me upset.
Oh, you. Did we lose King Trace?
No, King Trace is still here.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately.
Fuck off.
Oh.
Anyway, I am not sure if I want to pick Tauros, or Heatmore, or
let's just tell everyone the multitude of Pokemon that become demigods in Rand Battle.
Well, we might as well. I mean, if anyone's actually watching this, it'd be fun for them to actually pick insane Ranbat Pokemon. Regice, yeah.
My personal favorite is Articuno, as King Trace mentioned earlier, because I single-handedly used it, and then I think either Valid or King Trace later did the same thing, but I used it to take out an entire team of one of them. But one of the things on it, which was hilarious, it was a Kyurem Black, and I was basically just killing it using rain-free hurricanes.
Yeah, and I had Fusion Bolt. It was me, by the way.
Yeah, he had Fusion Bolt and it wasn't doing anything to me. Like, for some reason, it had, like, outstanding defense, and it just kept roosting all of the damage off, and hurricaning everything on his team
Yeah,
to death.
Articuno does have outstanding defense in Challenge Cup, like shrugging off Fire Blast's outstanding.
It's crazy. It becomes, like, chancy in there.
This is what, 170 attack, Kyurem Black?
Yeah. Well, no, they probably gave it, like, a fucking special set with, like...
Oh, I know I had special
No,
moves, so it probably wasn't mixed.
Yeah,
No, I don't mean mix. I mean, it just, like, outright gave it, like, the hindering nature and everything, because that thing was doing way too little.
no, Kyurem B is like the most useless Pokemon in Challenge Cup. I had one once that I don't remember what Pokemon Invalid had, but it was a neutral hit and it did like 20%. And I was like, this isn't a real Kyurem Black. They gave it special attack. There's no way.
I know, I think they honestly fuck with sets to make things, like, different.
They're like, oh, it's an original set. If you're gonna make these kind of like original sets, you shouldn't have level balance on.
Like, a lot of them just make no sense. But, like, when they make Cordeli's with 2 setup moves and then they don't even give it recovery.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Stockpile
when they,
curse.
And they don't
Oh, yeah.
they don't give it recovery or leech seed. It's always like stockpile, curse, seed bomb, and like ancient power or something. It's the stupidest set ever. And
well,
like
here's the stupidest set ever: Hydration, Rain Dance, Rest, with a Chesto Berry.
Yeah.
That's
Manaphy, Fion.
Ion is creepy looking.
They take up 2 move slots to give you Rain Dance and Rest, and waste your item, and then they don't give you any setup or anything to do
You
with
never
it.
know. They might have like a Ranbat Ninetales.
Although I've actually been pretty
It's gonna be.
successful.
I don't think I've ever seen Ninetales in Challenge Cup,
I've
which
been
is
pretty
hard to believe since you
successful.
have.
I see Groudon more than I see Ninetales and Ranbat.
I've never seen a Flaffy in Ranbat.
I've never either. We were just talking about it today.
I'm here.
And the
back.
new Team Hentai is going to have editing. Lots and lots and lots of editing. It's going to be fantastic.
Anyway, we should probably stop bitching and move on to Steel Dragon's little Let's Play.
Oh god, the little Team Uber Let's Plays.
I'm gonna go ahead and say I am very proud. I still don't really approve of Steel Dragons in general, but I'm very happy that he's doing something to bolster activity that isn't those stupid ass topic of the days he used to do. Hey guys, why don't you talk about something and I'll not do anything?
I know.
But I get the credit, ladies and gentlemen.
And the only one who ever comments on it is like you and Valid and Akira.
Yeah.
Akira always
I'm
just says something.
saying something mocking.
Akira's always saying
Like,
something pornographic, and King Trace just says whatever.
Yeah, I went through the effort to make a fun topic, and Steel Dragon still thinks he's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Hey,
I don't
it's
think
that
he
yellow
actually thinks
text.
that. He's a very patient person, you know.
He is. I don't disapprove of the whole thing. The Let's Play thing, I used to make fun of that style of Let's Playing to Frost.
I think it's, to be honest, I think rightly so, because, I'm sorry, but if you're gonna do a Let's Play, just have the balls to talk on camera.
Yeah.
Otherwise, not only are you making it, like, 10 times more effort to make, like,
But you
imagine
know
how
what?
long it takes him to do that.
But
then,
to
you
be
also
honest,
make...
to be honest, he's probably going to get 10 times as many people that see that thread compared to how many people would view the video.
Well, if you linked it in, like, as a thread,
Maybe.
you get the same people. But anyway, the point is, it's like, you're making it 10 times harder to make and 10 times harder to watch, because now we have to sit here and, like, examine the entire screen cap, and then read the text below, and try and, like, put the puzzle pieces together for what you're trying to joke about. And, like,
It's
it
also-
loses a lot of the humor. Like, he did this
It's also-
bit... Oh, God.
It's boring. And Steel Dragons is always, his sense of humor has always been about as appealing to me as a bucket of paint.
No. He had this actually... he had this kind of funny part where he was saying that,
If you
like,
have
a
to
girl
give him,
talking to him behind him was like a tree that he was facing, and I think it would have worked if he had just done it on video instead of doing
Yeah,
it.
it would have.
It
It's
would.
like, it's kind of like it's kind of like when you're having an argument with someone on Skype and you're doing it through text instead of voice. You're just saying, this person's having all the time in the world to think of their responses. It's not like a fluid argument.
Honestly, though, then write a script. People actually do that.
Yeah, some people do.
And it still works.
Steel Dragons has always been boring to me. Sorry to say. His jokes are not funny. If you have to give him credit for a semi-funny bit, he probably doesn't have many gems.
Well, I mean, I don't dislike him. I hope he doesn't watch this, because I'll feel really bad with him.
I like Steel, except I also
consider
hate him.
I like it. And Ballad just... When it comes to Steel, and Ballad's batshit insane. He can't make up his mind.
I know.
It's like yelling at him 1 minute, and then he's like, "Oh my god, Steel, I love you. I'm so sorry."
I'll never hurt you again, babe. It's like an abusive relationship, really.
Like Steel never really does anything wrong ever.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Steel's a douche. I don't like Steel.
Douche. I disagree. The thing that makes Steel like the reason you probably think he's douchey is because he will always be placating no matter what. He has more patience than any person I've ever met in my entire life. And it can come off as really annoying because he will go above and beyond to placate someone.
Yeah. I saw these two people in the server just fucking, fuck with him so hard and just talk shit. And he's just like, I'd really like to have a battle with one of you. Like, I don't know how he can do it. It's something I could not do.
You know, I think
it's a mystery.
I don't like. I suppose extreme patience is certainly a great trait, but I think he's a dick because of the way he when I started thinking I didn't like him was about when Frost made the Golurk sets.
Oh yeah, that was.
And
he was so stubborn.
The Golurk analyses and. Did I cut out?
No,
you didn't.
May have now.
Yeah, he probably did. Okay, I'll just carry on when he's out of commission. I made this analysis thingy for Golurk because I do all of the articles about Ghosts because I'm obsessed with them. I'm sure you all care about this, by the way. But Steele really disagreed with me on all of my sets, really, and his own unique solution was pasting some from Smogun that did not belong in our tiers at all. They really didn't. One of them had, the thing that pissed me off the most about it is that he was trying to say that Golurk was, this bulky thing. I was I know he's probably never used one, because I've never, that's shitty evidence, but I've never seen him use one. And he was taking them from Smogun, so his case didn't look very strong. But, whenever I write any article ever, I force Invalid and myself to extensively test every set. Or if I don't test it, I at least get second opinions. I try to make sure it's as workable as possible. You know?
Yeah, it's not gonna be flame charged Genesect.
Exactly. He's sitting here saying it's so bulky. If you give it HP EVs, it can live anything and just sweep. And
he's quoting word for word what Smogon has in their UU analysis for it, and applying it to breakdown standard.
It just aggravated me because
It's it can take anything, even Rotom W Hydro Pump in the rain.
Except it doesn't. Golurk is not bulky. I know people... Smogun seems to think it is because it has, a giant art or something. It's 9 feet tall and it weighs this much. It's so bulky. Look at how much of the screen it takes up.
Look at fucking Wailord and talk to me about bulky.
Exactly. It's actually kind of like Wailord. It has decent HP, but its defenses are not that great. And so people are just look at it living everything. It kind of lives some things okay, but
I've seen it live a Choice Specs Latios Draco Meteor, and that Focus Sash didn't even help a little bit.
You're probably talking about Invalid, Mono Ghost Hazard Team, weren't you?
What?
I was...
That's actually a thing. He made one like that, with a Sash Golurk.
Yeah, but how...
No,
Oh, you're talking about Golurk. I thought you were talking about, Wailord.
No.
I was on ladder and I had when I was running my Latios team back in the day, long time ago, and I didn't get Stealth Rocks up because my Deoxys D got like fucked by fake out Sucker Punch on something, and my Deoxys S. This was way back, and then the guy brought out a Golurk, and I Draco Meteored and got O-code by the stupid Shadow Punch. So maybe that's why Smogon thinks it's bulky, because this guy's running around showing people the business.
Well, I think Golurk is a Pokemon with a lot of limitations, but if you make it work, it'll work well for you. But he wasn't really realizing that. He was just like the set he was really pushing was Sub Punch. And keep in mind, he had max HP and max attack. Golurk is slow as balls. He gave it no speed at all. Well, it was like he wanted to run a Sub Punch on a Golurk. Basically, you wouldn't have enough HP left to even get a sub up. Yes, it can live things, but doesn't live them well. So it would basically be like 3/4 of the way dead, and you'd be subless, and you'd just basically have Death Water.
Yeah, and the speed thing comes into play when you consider the only thing it could ever counter is Blissey, and Golurk without speed doesn't outspeed Blissey, so it gets toxic.
Exactly. Like
lol.
So, I mean, it was sub Dynamic Punch, and I don't remember if he had No Guard or Iron Fist. It was probably unless he was doing like trippy gravity shit. It was probably No Guard. But
Sub Dynamic Punch. Why would you not?
It wasn't Sub Focus Punch.
Oh no,
I could have sworn it was Sub Focus Punch for us.
It probably was. I'm just being stupid. But yeah. Oh yeah. Now I remember. He wanted to just Sub Focus Punch because like Iron Fist was apparently just too tempting for him.
But it can come in on a close combat or hidden power electric from Infernape. So.
Oh my god.
Or Thunder Punch. Yeah.
Oh. See, that's the only the thing that I used to use. Golurk isn't as when specifically on PO, when Choice Rotom was popular, Rotom was like the shit for me because you could come in on the Choice Rotom and get free either Focus Punches or Dynamic Punches, whatever you wanted. Because no one else ran Ghosts for some reason.
I miss the meta where all Rotoms were choiced. I really do.
Well, it made Golurk good. And now Golurk, honestly, I
still feel like I was at the head of that revolution, and nobody acknowledges me.
Huh.
I got to 11th with that Rotom in the time when everybody was still choiced.
Yeah, honestly, when people stopped running Choice, it really caught me off guard. I think that's probably why they did it. You catch people off guard.
Yeah, it's kind of
everyone did
well, Spiritomb is great with Expert Bell because no one will expect it. They'll think it's Choice Bandit. Yeah, it's great against one guy, one time.
I really hate when something's good because it's unexpected, because then everyone else will start running down Choice Rotom, and then it'll just... This probably already happened, but it probably just flip-flops every day between which Rotom W is better.
Hey, Invalid. What was Smogon's triple stab Spiritomb set?
Oh no, Spiritomb is nice.
It had Sucker Punch, I'm sorry, it didn't have Sucker Punch. Yeah, get that, it didn't have Sucker Punch. It had Shadow Sneak, Dark Pulse, Psychic, and Shadow Ball. Actually, now that I think of it, maybe Shadow Ball was Sucker Punch.
No, it was triple stab because you were making fun of it to me. It was Sucker Punch, Pursuit, Shadow Sneak, and
Psychic.
No, it
had Psychic.
It's triple stab.
Yeah, you already named 3 stabs.
I think. No, it had 3 dark moves. It had Pursuit, Dark Pulse, Sucker Punch, and Shadow Sneak.
Well, let's have a look, shall we?
Oh dear gosh.
Yeah, let's look.
While they're doing this, I'll just take a mention to inject, or I'll take a moment to inject my little Spiritomb opinion. Spiritomb is a disgrace, and if you like it, we can't be friends. That is all.
Has BST than Sableye.
Yeah, it has better BSTs and no good abilities, no good moves, no niche. It's it's the king of mediocrity.
Let me check.
It can't do anything. It can't do anything that anything else can. Do
yes,
better.
It is. Shadow Sneak, Pursuit, Psychic, Dark Pulse.
That's awesome.
It's Shadow Sneak, Pursuit, Psychic, Dark Pulse.
Yep.
Like,
Okay.
seriously, just name anything a Spiritomb does and something else can do it better. It doesn't have a niche.
Well,
It
it's the
used
best sassy Shadow Sneak Pursuit Psychic Dark Pulse user.
Wow. Good on ya.
I mean, it's so
Spiritomb.
good at taking out steel types.
Yes.
And dark
Spiritomb
types?
used to be a boss.
There are no steel types in whatever tier they stuck Spiritomb in, probably.
But it's so good against dark types, too.
There are no dark types except for other Spiritombs.
The thing
Probably.
is, Frost, did you ever play during Gen 4?
I did not. I observed casually.
Spiritomb used to be, I'm not going to say the best Pokemon ever, because that would be a lie, but he used to be fairly usable, to the point where not sweeping, but winning with a Spiritomb was like, oh, winning with a Spiritomb.
Winning with a... and then he cuts. Well, anyway, what he's saying, I get that it probably used to be good, but right now, honestly, it's like the king of being outclassed by other things.
The set they're mentioning was not good. It's incapable of being good.
No set they mention is good, in my opinion. Do you want to just do an hour of making fun of their sets?
No, we gotta move on at some point.
Okay.
Well, we did go from Steel Dragons all the way to Smogon.
Okay, back to the gold thing real quick. We thought Steel was being a douche because he wouldn't bend on the issue and he had no idea what he was talking about at the end.
Yeah.
Alright, moving on. Theme.
Also, I don't hate Steel, unlike King Trace, so...
The theme of this show, no.
The moral you were supposed to get.
Is that King Trace is an asshole.
Our theme, the Chandelier theme that you've all come to know and love or hate, is...
I love it.
No longer available because the new way that the themes work doesn't allow us to use contain code, which is what makes it so if you have a small resolution, you have a small chandelier. If you have a big resolution, you have a big chandelier.
The way it ended up becoming is that if you had a small resolution, you just got boring, bitchy Meloetta, and if you had a large resolution like me, you got Chandelier, only you basically had all black text that couldn't be changed for some reason.
I think we could have changed the text. We never tried that.
Yeah, but then it would have been different for everyone else.
Yeah.
That's also a point. So basically, there were a lot of tiers, but we just decided that since most people couldn't see it anyway, we'd temporarily get rid of Chandelier. And we've talked to the lovely people at Showdown, and they are going to work on it eventually.
Probably whenever we bug them again.
So don't hold your breath.
Zarel has a long list of nothing to do before he gets to
It was actually Kathy. She was like, "I'll get to it later, Invalid, eventually."
You know what? I'm adding an insert bitch there because Zarel comes in and doesn't know shit about how to operate his own program, and Kathy comes in and tells him how to do it so we can fix our shit.
I know, Kathy. Honestly, like, she's abrasive, but she knows what she's doing.
I don't know how Zarel doesn't know how to operate his own stuff. Did he not make this?
No, but he probably made the updates that were crucial.
Alright, but anyway, I like Meloetta better than Chandelier.
I don't. I think Meloetta's a dumb whore.
It doesn't matter what the theme is, because I'll see Meloetta anyway.
Exactly. That's the only reason it doesn't matter to Invalid.
Well, I would prefer Chandelier.
Our blood, sweat, and tears into making that background.
Yeah, and it stares into my soul and makes me unhappy.
Good.
But I just miss the members coming in every so often. They'd be like, "This server's awesome!" But no.
No. And then leaving, like, right away. I don't even know. Like, it's awesome. Thanks for telling me how awesome it is, and thanks for staying and, like, basking in the awesomeness. Like, why would you just... I clearly think this server is awesome. That's why I'm going to leave right away.
Like, at least we left an impression that way. This was a dead server. I'm in, I'm out, bye.
Like, you know, King Trace, you should be grateful for that background, because even when the text was unreadable, it was still responsible for what made up the entirety of our early member base.
It really was.
Yeah, everyone saw that Chandler and was like, "Oh my god, these are the only people with a background. Let's not go look." Because we were the only people who actually were, like, dedicated enough to do it. So Rob was like, you need to learn this fucking crazy code shit, and you have to like bug me every
And
5 minutes.
just like every single one of our other good ideas, or Vexus stole it.
Actually, he wasn't even the first person to take it. The first person to take it was Battle Tower. So there.
Okay, there goes Vexus steals everything conspiracy. Oh wait, no it doesn't. Just because somebody stole it before Vexus doesn't mean Vexus doesn't steal all of our ideas.
Well, he never even ends up using them, though. That's the thing. Like, their next-gen thing never finished. They,
He copied
like
us on
every
that,
other...
too. On not finishing it, I mean.
Yeah, they kind of did copy us in that. The thing with,
The latter, they gave them...
basically never happened.
They gave themselves no preview, but they don't use it.
Exactly, so it's kind of benign, like, it did. Yeah, like, he used some ideas that we did, but none of his users even cared.
No,
now there's literally...
used every idea that we did.
Not every idea, I don't think.
We have... What idea did we have that he didn't do?
Okay, you probably have me. To be fair, though, we basically used him as a chat command whore.
For one command.
Well, yeah, but now...
Lots of them, actually. We used him to make, like, the service walls. We tried to get him to do the pop-up window thing.
Yeah, which he didn't do.
No, he did do it. It just didn't work the way we wanted, so we didn't use it.
Oh.
Then he helped do with the tours thing we have now.
He didn't. Okay.
Didn't
he
yeah, he did.
He linked me to the Battle Tower script, which I copied.
Okay, so you would have been better off
Googling it.
Not really. You can't Google... Val and I learned the hard way when we were first trying to put the server together. Like, Googling anything for Showdown doesn't work. It's impossible.
It
didn't get us anywhere.
It's about the same amount of level I would give of help, like, on that level, the tours thing. If someone I don't know or care about came in and asked me, how do you host a server? What do? I link them to how to host a server. I'm not going to walk them through every step.
It's not even what you did when people first came in and asked this time, though. Like, you did less than that. You were just like...
Go home! Get stoned!
Not quite.
But lately, that's what I've been doing. Like, how do I make a server? I'm like, why don't you read the tutorial of how to make a server instead of asking me?
The tutorial kinda sucks.
Yeah, but I'm not going to walk him through it better than the tutorial without him first having the tutorial. And I'm not going to walk him through it anyway, because I don't want more servers.
Honestly, I don't think it's our job to be like the full philanthropist server. I think Smogon should do that. They should donate some members.
Really?
We should probably finish our list.
There's no members on any server small enough. There's like not enough members on the small servers already. So yeah, I'm gonna make more small servers. So we're even.
I don't get why people are so like against venturing out of them. Like, what do you gain from staying in a place where no one can even see what you're saying, and your battles are broken all the time, and you're at constant risk of being banned?
I totally agree with all this shit about Smogon. We should probably finish the list before we go into random bitchings, because not that I don't enjoy our conversation, but ever since Frost got added to this Team Hentai thing, we've been segueing much faster than usual.
Probably because that's what I do.
I'm gonna put in some quick ads for our shit, and then we can get back to bitching. We read the Bible. Vowed and I have been sporking Genesis, and we will hopefully spork the whole thing sometime in the next several years.
For those who don't know, sporking is basically, well, the way we use it. You just basically read something, and you make fun of it, and you do voices and stuff.
If you wanted to know exactly how many years fucking Abraham lived, we got you covered.
Yeah. How many years he lived before he had a son and after. And if he had other kids or not.
Just as offensive as it sounds, don't worry.
If you read the Bible and don't think any of it is silly, you're offensive. To me, personally.
Don't say that. I can't stand you're offensive to me. Like, I can't...
And
it's so annoying. You're offending me. It's like, it's the offense war.
You have to show me a screen cap of the analytics and see how many people made it this far. You'll make my day.
Alright, it'll be 3.
Alright,
They're all going to hate me by the end of this. Like, you probably have some little fanboys who are like, I love this! And they're like, oh my god!
Wait,
how's this
guys, if you're
thing?
still watching it
Shit!"
now, comment. Leave a comment that says you're still watching it right now and like the video. That is all.
Because they never comment.
Hey, you don't have to like it, but comment. But you should
Come
probably
on.
like it.
No,
All
we're
right,
just like,
and then I'll go ahead and introduce our new segment before we get back to bitching. We are going to spork fanfictions. We've just recorded a video that will introduce you to this project, and as soon as Frost is done nitpicking all the fun out of it, it'll be uploaded.
the fun out of it, yes. I have the right to because I am the founder of our sporking.
I agree. We wouldn't spork without Frost.
Yes, we did a bunch of stuff off camera that I was too much of a pansy to upload.
One of my favorite fanfictions we did off camera, and Frost won't let us upload it or re-record it because it's too
okay.
raunchy.
No, it's not just because it's too raunchy. Most of it is because Invalid lost the entire first half of the series, and to be frank, it's no fun at all if we just already know what's happening, and like we try and like script everything out. Like, you might not agree with this because you haven't seen one from all three of us yet, but we think that the best part of the little sporking videos is that it's our candid reactions. Like, it's not planned ahead. We haven't read the fiction before. It's our King Trace, don't spoil the sporks.
Fine.
Because we can't just upload these all at once, can we? How are we gonna do that? We should probably talk about that now too.
We can, but we're not going to because no
We
one
should
will
do it.
watch the whole thing.
Do you want to do it weekly? Or...
We can do weekly, daily, whatever. We can do one chapter a day, and most sporks will be up in a week.
Sure.
Well, they're not like 7 chapters, but that chapter, that book, what is it? Story? That story will be up in 20 days.
But yeah, I'm going to try to be not censorable this time. I think that the best parts of our sporks are the parts where we're like, Lucas really is bi, and we all knew it all along.
Yeah, since we won't be uploading that. Like, we were pointing out how sexual he was in every situation. And finally, it's like chapter, 15 or so. And he's like, he's like masturbating over their bed or something.
He's sniffing
It was a 10.
He's sniffing their hair.
That's not literally what happened. But
no, he really
somehow...
is sniffing their hair.
It's not literally.
And
no, he literally is sniffing their hair.
They
wake up.
Yes.
They wake up and they're, what are you doing, you freak?
And then then I remember, and then like they all talk about how bisexual he is.
And they're like, wait a minute, are you gay? It's like he puts his fingers together, like he's like, he's like, no. They're like,
I'm not really.
They're like, are you? And then of course Sue says, are you bisexual?
Are you bisexual, Lucas? In case you hadn't guessed, I've always liked every single woman in these things because I'm so good at it. I'm good at everything. That was sarcasm. In case
it wouldn't be spoiling to say that they will hear me being a woman.
Yes, they will hear King Trace. I know if you haven't, since you guys, I think we should honestly take a moment to talk about the wonderfulness that is Sinnoh's Chosen, since we won't be uploading it, unfortunately.
Okay, let's talk about Sinnoh's Chosen.
My favorite thing about it is, and I'm being very vain here, but for some reason, during the last episode we have recorded, I decided to make Mars a butch lesbian, and that's just as offensive as it sounds. I apologize to all the butch lesbians out there, or the normal lesbians. But I did this like awful voice for her, and
insinuating that butch lesbians aren't normal, you jerk.
I know. I'm a bad person. You aren't gonna hate me by the end of this.
Okay, go on.
I did this terrible voice for her, and we could not stop cracking up the whole time, and it was just a mess. And it was very sexual, and I loved it. And I had a lot of fun with that.
I think my favorite part of the whole thing altogether was the part where Invalid just offhand makes Professor Rowan a southern pedophile.
Yes.
Like, for no reason, Invalid just starts talking in a southern accent and talking about small children, and I'm like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever.
Well, also, be prepared for these. My mind is in the gutter every time we do this, so I am going to be the one making the majority of the sexual references. So just be ready.
Invalid. Invalid. What was your favorite part of Sinnoh's Chosen?
Oh, there's so much. I can't even remember what really was the funniest.
Just pick the most glorious moment you can remember.
My favorite parts are when we get pissed off. I like when we're so upset that he's like copying things directly out of the game.
I personally don't give a crap about that. You two seem to be so offended by it.
Copy paste in game. Like
she can't really copy paste it, can she?
I'm what they call a grade A bitcher. My favorite thing to do is
silly,
bitch.
You forgot about me.
My favorite thing to do is bitch, and I will do it.
What makes me really mad about her piece is when she takes lines from the game. Like, she has one of Professor Rowan's speeches. I did that really bad. But one of Professor Rowan's speeches, she copy-pasted. And then immediately afterwards, it degrades back to her writing of the character. And you can just see
there's a big difference.
The horrible gaping wound she created around Rowan's characterization. And she's showing you what used to be there. And then she's just like, and now I'm back to being stupid. And that is what made me the maddest about Sinnoh's Chosen.
What made me the maddest
that and the fact
is... sorry.
That and the fact that the scariest, most manipulative, greatest villain, arguably, in Pokemon, it was degraded to a 4th grader who's afraid of girls and attends idiot conventions.
My biggest bone to pick was probably, I thought you were actually going to say the Screen Trace, but it was, the PMs you had in the department where she was basically just, like, stomping all over what basic writing is. Like, she's like, let's see, your review, stop leaving bad reviews because you're making me look bad. Grammar doesn't matter.
Yeah, she said she hadn't taken grammar in school yet, so she shouldn't be expected to be able to spell.
How do you not
coherently.
take grammar in school unless you're like 3?
No, obviously in elementary school.
That's ridiculous. The internet does amazing things.
And I told her
this girl knows what bisexualism and all this crap is, and she doesn't even know what grammar is. Like, the internet taught her about bisexual people before it taught her about grammar.
This is why the internet makes a very strange parent.
It does.
Yeah, I'm here.
He rose from the dead. We were talking about how invalid is bisexualism. I was saying, before you cut out, I think you just cut out again.
No, I'm here.
Okay. I was saying how it's, hilarious how this girl writing fanfiction on the internet does not know what grammar is, but she knows about, all these different aspects of sexuality. And, bisexualism and gays, and, just okay, what has the internet done to your brain where you can't even form a proper sentence, but you know about all of this stuff that, grown adults in California are fighting over? It's hilarious.
She's a bad... I told her to down browser with spell check, or anything with spell check, and her basic...
Her basic
term.
her shut up. Please. To say, I was expecting her to say, my parents won't let me download one, but what she ended up saying was, I don't know one. I gave her a list of what she should download, and she said, I don't know what any of those things are.
I love when people say that, and they just forget that Google's a thing.
No, I said, no, it's impossible for her to not know what I was talking about. I said Firefox, Google Chrome, and Microsoft Office. And she's like, I don't know.
Honestly, I think it's just, she's like a lazy little kid who doesn't want to have to basically put forth a somewhat decent effort. My favorite person, by the way, I am calling this girl the Steel Dragons of fanfiction because there is a girl named Alice the Bloody Rabbit who, she has no patience since... Oh, sorry. Don't spoil.
Spoilers, Invalid.
Invalid just made a spoiler. Ignore him.
No one will know what it means, don't worry.
maybe in hindsight, we'll have like an extremely dedicated person who just like comes back and just like, oh. But anyway, there's this girl named Alice the Bloody Rabbit who basically like reviews and favorites all of her stories, and she has perfect grammar and everything. I mean, she doesn't have any stories uploaded. I probably sound really like a creepy fanfiction stalker right now, but I don't care. But she basically tries to advise her on like the plot and like grammar rules, and it just goes right over this girl's head. And she does the same thing for the story that we're going to upload for you guys, and it's so amusing. Like, I don't know where people like her and Still Dragon get their patience from, because
I honestly think she knows Baku and Jazz in real life, because, I mean, she specifically edits... Yeah. Oh.
Are we doing that?
Even if they Googled Baku, they wouldn't be able to find her.
They know that, okay, if they Google Baku and then the name of the stories, they will.
They can find it without that. Like, if they No. Frost, I tested this myself. Take one line from the story, any one line, copy and paste all the text of that line, or just type it as you're hearing us read it, put it in Google, there you go, you got the story. Like, it's not going to be hard to find the story.
We're telling them how to do it. Well, I already knew that. We discussed this earlier. I just felt like on principle we shouldn't name names.
No, I think that personally we should be allowed to say their names, because
we shouldn't link their profile, but
we can say their names.
Because that's sending a troll army. When you link people, that's what you're doing.
What I'm doing, by saying their short names, I don't think anybody's gonna from this video be able to.
That's what you said.
What?
I said Jazz and Baku.
No, you said Jazz the Charizard at some point.
I said I think.
Well, guess what? I did.
I said I think Alice the Bloody Rabbit knows these two in real life, because when you're dealing with kids like Baku and Jazz, and then you cut me off.
Sorry.
No, I'm not mad at you for cutting me off. I'm just saying that I never said Jazz the Charizard.
So I apologized.
Okay, but yeah, we can say their names. I don't think it matters.
Say their names, say their names.
You're inviting people to check out Alice's Bloody Rabbit.
Well, she doesn't have any stories posted.
She's a pillar of excellence.
I honestly think she is. People like her are like, I don't even know where they get it from.
By the way, for my random thing that doesn't fit in with the podcast,
it does now.
I think I just found a bone on the floor. Like a bird bone.
It's a ghost.
Tom was in here the other night.
Your cat's going to work.
So he could have brought a bird bone in with him.
No, it's a ghost.
Yeah, for us, it's a fucking 3-inch tall ghost.
It's a ghost that likes.
I picked it up without realizing what it could be, and I had it all over my hands. So it was
all over me.
So when we're done with this podcast, I'm gonna have to go wash my hands and make sure not to touch my face until then.
Eat something too. Do you have any open wounds?
Eat some chicken.
Can you make one?
Frost, you're being a cyberbully.
No, or something completely different.
Okay, has anybody in this call right now not been accused of being a cyberbully before?
I've been a cyberbully, immature.
I've been called immature with Invalid as a unit. We've been immature together.
Nascourge's dog, King Trace's dog, Frost's dog.
I've been a
D-Dog's dog.
I've been a dog.
Wait. Who called you my dog? I want to know that.
Violet. He's the only person who calls people dogs.
No, except for one user was making fun of her by calling her a dog after she called everybody else dogs, and then she's like, "See, your users are all flamers. They call people dogs."
I'm pretty sure I've been called Astark's dog, and people don't even know Astark these days.
No, I've been called immature, a cyberbully, and I'm just gonna stick with the stuff that people call me in relation to Breakdown, because all the other stuff is crazy. But a troll, a faggot. I suck in Valorant. Pearls.
Apparently, I'm the least faggy person on the server.
My biggest weakness is blowjobs. Everyone on the server blows me. That's the thing. So.
Oh yeah, it's a rite of passage.
Yeah.
Despite how far away our home states are.
Yes.
Well, you know, it's just like webcam, and you put your mouth up and go arr, arr, arr.
Actually, what we do is we deep throat the can, and then Bella just has happy things.
I mail people boom mics, and that's what they go down on.
It's grossly inaccurate for size.
You know, after you do that, you can eat a whole rotisserie chicken without chewing after you deep throat Invalid's boom mic.
Like I said, it's grossly inaccurate for size.
Well,
He
guys,
thinks I was-
you're not gonna get me to put up a picture of my boom mic online, but
Really? But your boom mic is so, like, incredible. Oh, obviously that's why we all...
I would hope that nobody in this call is stupid enough to have uploaded pictures of their boom mics to the internet.
Is that under euphemism?
I guess so. Is King Trace gone?
No.
No?
It is, then it's not telling me that he is.
Guys, are you leaving me out on purpose?
No,
Yes. It's
no.
premeditated.
You're back now.
What did Frost say? He said something about something, and then you said, "Yeah, I guess so."
He asked if boom mic is our new euphemism.
Well, yeah, I was like, I don't know. It just sounded like you were saying stuff about penises. I mean, boom mics.
King Trace?
To say the line that won't get censored, a particular user requests that I find porn for him, and he has the most ridiculous taste in women, and I call that real torture.
Yeah.
I still think this could be, like, grade A torture here.
I think we're humorous. I would enjoy listening to us if I hadn't already heard us.
I'd enjoy the sporking a lot more, though.
Yeah, the sporking's gonna be fun. I can't wait.
Like, I can go back and watch these, and it's like, aha. It's not like, oh my god, no! It's not like that.
Yeah.
Well, like, I wasn't gonna allow them to upload the sporkings, but they just, like, they forced it out of me, man.
When I was
Well, you
listening
were dressed like you wanted us to upload it.
Stop that. We are not talking about rape in this podcast.
Oh, and Ballad, do we have to edit that out? Bit raunchy there.
Okay, it's not the same thing. I'm just gonna say it's not the same thing as someone, like, pulling a chocolate bar out of the vagina and giving it to someone.
See, the thing is, if someone doesn't take what I say as I'm insulting people who actually do think that way, then yeah, they'd probably be offended. But
all those commenters did, so...
Yeah.
What I would... Oh, fuck. I said something. Oh, yeah.
I said something.
I think that our sporks are really entertaining, because I listened to the one that I can't spoil because we're going to get it uploaded, and I was laughing the whole time when we were doing our shit, and I was like, I barely remembered it, but it was, like, hilarious to me. Like, oh, I remember saying that. Oh, I had this stupid argument.
And guys, yeah, who's watching this? But if anyone's watching this who produces content, I don't know why. I mean, you're a content producer. Don't you have better shit to do?
No.
But if you want to make shit for Breakdown Everything, now's the time. Breakdown Everything's already eclipsing my channel. It has 12,000 video views and 6 subscribers. 6 subscribers is all it has. Like, that is it. And it has 12,000 video views.
By the way, you should pity us and subscribe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should like and subscribe, because seriously, if 6 people like us, you probably should too, even though one of them is probably invalid.
6 people can't be
I think
wrong.
one of them is me. Maybe. I might have to unsub, so, like...
To
Yeah,
make
less
the
now.
counter legitimate.
I mean, we have some really fun shit. I think my favorite video that we ever did was Skittles song.
I wasn't part of that.
Actually,
No,
fuck, what's that guy's name who gets on our server? I really hate him, and I don't mind him knowing. He's really annoying. I know. I'm pretty sure we've banned him before. Aardvark, no.
That's basically everybody on our server.
Sassafras?
Gary? Gary the Pimp?
No, he's got some kind of double A name.
But anyway.
Anyway, he said he thought, he said, here's his exact quote. Skittles' song, Mirror, is the funniest thing I've ever seen. He thought the name of it had mirror in it.
Skittles' song was a great skit. I think when you get the original, the person you're making fun of to think it's funny, you probably did a good job.
Yeah.
Then again, Skittles grew like a humble gene next to his ego in the time since I've spoken to him.
Yeah.
I have not spoken to him forever. The last time, we never talked, so I removed him on Skype because he kept sending me YouTube spam messages. And then he came onto the server and he was like, "Why did you remove me?" So that was the last time we talked. And then I had to add him again because if you remove Skittles and you don't add him back, he will stalk you.
When last time Skittles sent me YouTube spam was like a year ago, and I told him, the next time you send me YouTube spam, I'm gonna block you and probably ban you from the server. And he said, "Okay, I'm never gonna do it again." And he hasn't done it. He hasn't done it one time since then.
Yeah, so Skittles fans out there, and yeah, he really does have fans. I'm not kidding. If you want his undying attention, add him on Skype and block him.
It works. It honestly works.
How many fans does he have?
Probably more than us.
He better not have more than us. With his style of humor.
How many fans do we have, King Trace?
6. We have like one person every video who watches to the end.
I don't know how many fans we have, John. Subscribers, we have 6. People that watch us regularly, probably 20.
Yeah, there really might be, because we get like thousands of views per podcast.
Thousands?
Some of them probably overlap. Oh, my bad. I didn't realize that Team Hentai Part 2 of Episode 2 had 5,000 views. My bad.
My bad.
I think that our videos usually get like 80 to 50 views, so I'm going to guess conservatively that we have like 10 to 20 people that regularly like us.
I wonder how many of them get to the end of the video.
Very few.
It's none, because they'd all have brain aneurysms.
Yeah, if the video says that they made it to the end, it's because they fell asleep at the keyboard.
Probably. This is so
Unless it's something...
I could fall asleep to this, you know? We're so entertaining. You get to listen to me squawking.
I don't think somebody falling asleep is an insult. I mean, I've enjoyed YouTubers who I have fallen asleep listening to.
When you're a podcast and the goal is to have people listening to what you're saying, it's not exactly a good thing.
I just remembered another thing I liked about Shino's Chosen. Frost sang in it.
Yeah, that's another reason why it's not being uploaded.
We had a character, the main character of Shino's Chosen can talk to Pokemon.
Big surprise, huh?
And
so original. No one's ever done that.
My name's Eliza, and I can talk to Pokemon.
I know. And I know a lot about ancient Suno's mythology.
And,
no one's gonna know what we're talking about.
she caught a Starly, and when I say caught, I'm using the word very liberally. Because by caught, I mean the Starly invited itself to be captured and basically pressed the Pokeball by itself. And, the Starly...
call it Birdsu?
Yeah, we call it Birdsu. Its real name is Karusuke.
Whatever.
It even has Su. It means bird that is a Su, as far as I'm concerned.
I just say it. I don't even...
Among other shit that make this thing a Su, it was on fire, and it felt pretty. It felt pretty because it was on fire, and therefore it decided it would be a good time to evolve.
No, you don't get it. They're using the lightning as armor!
It's using the fire as armor.
I knew that
it's a reference.
I knew that the fire wouldn't burn it, but I didn't know it would evolve. Yeah, you knew.
It's a milestone because she didn't know something for once.
Yeah, and her idea of a compelling battle scene is Shink's aim for the horse.
That's two plot bullshit she stole from the anime. The other one is the one I just said, the lightning is armor. Most people actually don't remember that one because it's like
I do.
Gen 3.
No, it was Gen 4. It was... No,
No,
wait,
no,
was
no,
it...
it was Gen 3.
Swellow, wasn't it?
No, I thought it was Staraptor, but it must be Swellow, because I'm
Maybe
remembering
it
Swellow
was
now.
2.
But,
It was the Psychic Twins. Where are they from?
Oh, they're from Gen 3,
It had a
okay.
Lunatone and a Soul Rock.
And somehow, apparently, even though, like, somehow if you combine flying and electric, it becomes super effective against rock. And doesn't fry the bird.
Well, because it turned it into armor, and that makes it a steel type.
Oh, that
Okay.
explains everything! How come no one ever pointed that out to me before?
But to finish up the thing I actually liked about Genos Chosen and Frost singing was that the bird had these really annoying quick lines, like they were like one line of the bird being a dick. So Frost decided he would sing everything the bird said. And as the bird as the bird gained talk, the bird would occasionally talk for like 2 sentences, and it would be Frost being like, "Oh, I felt so pretty, so I get to evolve now."
That's not what I sound like.
It's what you sound like when you're pretending to be a singing bird, Frost.
This is exactly why this story is never going to see the face of the internet.
What else did I let? I'm going to talk about parts of Sinnoh's Chosen that she wrote that were humorous because they were so bad. The part,
There
the
was
part
one
where,
part you thought was genuinely funny, though, wasn't there?
as a joke,
Yeah, that she wrote. Because Invalid and I were watching parts of the recording,
right?
and you laughed at something she said.
No, I could swear that there was one joke that she made that I was like, oh, that's actually not a bad joke.
Yeah, that's
and yeah, there was one I don't remember, but one of the funny things was that Barry and Lucas accompanied Saki into the Shocky into the
Shocky. You guys are quick intermission thinking. You guys are either gonna love or hate my narrator voice, and as soon as the first video goes up, you're gonna see why.
But anyway, they go into Valley Windworks, and Barry immediately disappears. He's gone. And as Sakai advances on Mars, there's this dangerous life or death situation for this father, the scientist, and Lucas stands there saying, "Mars,
trapped by a lesbian."
Yeah, he says, "Mars, I'd like to hear your evil plan."
She's like,
Mars was gonna rant, and she's like, "And now I'm gonna tell you my
King Trace, you're stealing my lesbian glory."
And Sakai's like, "I don't want to." And then Sakai's like, "I don't even want to hear it. Fuck off. I don't care about you." And then Lucas is like, "I'll hear it." And that's it. She doesn't get any help. She gets royally fucked up by Perugly, and Lucas doesn't jump in, and Barry disappeared. And then she wins with the power of friendship or some shit.
Yeah, my favorite thing in that chapter in Valids 2 was where she's describing Mars, and she's like a girl with red hair and wearing a weird skirt and tight pants.
She never said red hair, I mean.
No, red hair. She said red. The reason she said, I'm pretty sure she said red hair first, and then at the end, she was like, she had red hair, a weird skirt, tight pants or something, and red. And no, it was and also red.
She also had red, yeah, and also
she also had red. I'm just like, you already said she had red hair. I'm pretty sure anyway. Even if she didn't say she already had red hair, you can't just be she also had red.
She had red eyes and red lipstick.
She had red, though.
No, she just only had red. She had red from first gen, just chained up in the corner.
Oh my god, I'm gonna tell you, once I say this scene, you guys are all both gonna remember it and be like, this was the most horrible thing. Ash Ketchum.
Oh no!
Oh. Yeah, he's there for 1 minute to make her more of a fool.
The worst thing is we don't even have this recorded. This is the thing. This is why we're not uploading it, because more than half of it is missing. And the earliest chapters were also pretty good. I think the later ones were better because we were getting used to it. But early on, the chapter where they're at the mall doing random shit, and Ash Ketchum just leaps across the anime and appears in this game universe. And he's like, "Hey guys, let's all be Suits together." And they're like, "Okay, let's eat mall pizza.
Let's make a huge plot point out of what kind of hat everyone buys."
That's literally it, and it's like Ash shouldn't have even like why he showed up is beyond me.
No,
And
I'll tell you why he showed up. There was like chapter 6, and the review for chapter 5, a troll said, "Lol, this thing is so great, lol. You know what would be really great is if Ash Ketchum showed up." And she actually took him literally and did it.
she, you know, follows all of the requests unless you point out how badly she.
I like, I like how Frost only responds to that.
Hey, invalid, fuck you.
Okay. But Ash Ketchum scenes was just
That was
just simply hilarious.
it was abysmal. I thought it was
Oh,
like I thought the story was just gonna explode from the massive suitude.
And I think of Ash as having like this giant face for some reason. Like I imagine him as a caricature in the thing. So he's just
A
walking around.
caricature?
Yeah.
A caricature.
Yeah, sorry, that's how I pronounce
That's
it.
how I pronounce it.
Caricature.
The way I talk,
Don't.
bitch.
Don't,
Oh my god,
Frost.
even King Trace can say it right. Like, the guy who usually pronounces things wrong, and you're like, curriculum.
I thought that's how it was pronounced.
Me too. Until I did.
okay. But you were gonna say something, John,
Yeah, I just,
about his
I just,
caricature?
I just imagine Ash's face in the story being the key highlight of every scene. With his like weird whiskers. Like, why does he have whiskers?
Because he has, when he falls on the
He looks
ground,
like a Pikachu.
he never washes it. Like, that's scuffs on his face that he never cleans. If you
Okay.
believe like the absent father theories, it's probably like his dad hit him there, and like he's never gonna wash it because his dad abandoned him. And he wants to remember it.
His dad's Giovanni, no argument.
Oh god.
But for those of you who are going to actually watch our sports and have actually made it this far into the video, we'll mail you a medal. But Invalid has a very good ability to pull characterizations that are hilarious out of his ass. The other one I remembered was his Rorik characterization,
Really,
where
no one-
Rorik was like a magical girl flaming homosexual
Oh.
when Invalid read his
Oh,
line.
you just blew my offensive lesbianness out of the water with that statement.
Yeah, I pretty much copied that from Volkner X-Flint fan pairing fiction I read. Like, that was like exactly Rourke's characterization in that.
Okay, that's hilarious. Anyway,
It was like Onyx. It was like Onyx. Use rock throw.
no. The thing he was doing is he'd say the moves and he'd like split them up into two syllables. Like
Use rock
head.
throw.
The way you said headbutt just made me like die inside. Like headbutt.
I had to be Barry responding to him talking like that, and I couldn't breathe.
How about my characterization?
Mars was really hard too. I only had to be Lucas for that scene, and when my line came up, I was like, I'd like to hear your evil plan. I couldn't talk.
My favorite
Frost could
thing,
barely talk,
my
and he was
favorite thing-
doing it.
And I hope this is from Sinnoh's Chosen, because I'm not 100% sure. But Frost is just being ridiculously funny, and we can't quit laughing. And King Trace goes, "Come on, I could get through it without cracking up." And he's laughing.
It was Mars.
He's
it was
laughing.
Mars.
He's been laughing for like 2 minutes straight, and then he just randomly states that he could get through it without laughing.
Basically, it was the Mars.
I could get through reading.
I was doing.
I could get through reading the line. I thought I could get through reading the Mars voice without cracking up. Is what that was from.
It was hard. It was really hard because I didn't think I was that funny, but apparently these two loved it, and I was just like, I was trying really hard to do this like what I considered a butch lesbian voice, and King Trace said flaming homosexual earlier, so you have to yell at him first. I was trying really hard to be like a good butch lesbian. I was trying to be a good butch lesbian, and yes, normal dialogue.
Yeah.
And I'm like trying to do this really deep voice, and as soon as I start, these two just like die, and Laughter is contagious, so I'm over here like, stop laughing, I'm trying to do the voice acting.
Okay, Frost, you want to know why we died? It's because you were talking. You're like, I gotta think of a good voice for Mars, and we were both waiting for you to think of a Mars voice. And what you came up with was so far from what I was thinking that my brain almost
No,
exploded.
I actually like pointed this out because I asked you guys for advice, and Valid and I watched this because I made him watch it. I was trying to get advice from both of you, and you were like, well, I thought Mars was hot. So I was like, well, then let's go with lesbian.
Yeah.
And then immediately I just go right into the voice after that statement. So you guys were either laughing from that or laughing from the voice right away, and there was like all this laughter, and I'm just like, I can't, give me the voice!
I think
Eventually, towards the very end, when she had like no lines left, I was able to do it right, so it was pointless. And then, one thing that kind of pissed me off is that you had a good voice for Jupiter, but we don't have it on recording. Like, we actually got to the point where we met Jupiter at the lake, and we don't...
Yeah.
Valid can't find it. I was disappointed, because I wanted to see what your Jupiter was in comparison to my lesbian Mars.
My Jupiter was a stupid Valley Girl Jupiter.
Really?
It was like, I was like, I'm gonna take your Pokemon, Kay.
I don't remember. All I know is that we took all of the fucking characters and, like, just stripped any respectability they had left.
My favorite
are respectable guys, apparently.
my favorite non-spoiler voice that I came up with. In the spoiler content, I came up with a voice I like better. But in Sinnoh's Chosen, my favorite voice is Barry's voice.
Oh yeah, he does a really good Barry.
We were starting, and when I was first reading Barry, I was like, this guy's fucking.
It cut off after.
And then I'm like, okay, well, let me pick the dumbest I can think of. This guy is fucking retarded. Oh. And I was thinking, I should pick the dumbest voice I can think of. And what I ended up coming up with was like this. Like where Barry would randomly enunciate.
Should we just do all of our voices? They're never going to hear this shit, so we might as well just like...
Okay. Somebody write a sentence for us all to read in our voices so we don't just randomly voice act.
Invalid, I'm counting on you. Write something ridiculous. I'm not doing the singing.
Oh, I can't say that. Never mind. I'm not going to say that.
I'm not going to say that.
There we go.
Okay. Oh my god.
Okay.
I guess I'll start with our leading lady, the lovely Sue. Sake. We can't decide how to pronounce her fucking name.
Yeah.
It's S-A-K-E-I.
It's been Saki. It's been Saki, Saki, Sakai, Sakai, Saki.
Basically, everyone who isn't me just calls her Sue anyway.
Frost actually has my favorite pronunciation when he does his narrator voice. He calls her Shocky. He pronounces it Shocky.
You guys are going to sneak preview of my amazing narrator voice that you're all probably going to hate because it's annoying as shit. But they love it, so maybe you will too.
Okay, go ahead. Do our leading lady.
Our leading lady, the lovely Sake. She knows so much about Sinnoh's mythology. She is. I'm a flying dragon. Please ride me to town.
And he'd say every line like this. Like,
yes.
She's like pissed.
She's borderline sing-song, like perfection, happy, no matter what. Like, that's her thing. She always speaks with, like, the oddest inflections possible. I'm trying to convey her suiness.
I will read my my first bit character voice.
No, you have to be Barry because you're the second banana.
Yeah, Barry is the first bit character. Everyone after Sakai is a bit character.
Yes. We forgot Val's Arceus, which is like one of my favorite earlier voices.
I'm a flying dragon. Please ride me to town.
Was Arceus? Oh, go ahead.
Arceus was like a really deep, serious voice.
Like, I'm a flying dragon. Please ride me to town.
It was ridiculous. And we were inserting our own little like deadpans in there, so like he'd have to do that in the Arceus voice.
Yeah, whenever we do a deadpan at the end of a line, we stay in the character's voice.
Sometimes since I'm the narrator, I have to if I'm doing the deadpan that's a part of the narration, I have to do it in the narrator's voice. Oh, another fun policy that we've recently adopted that we didn't actually do in Sinnoh's Chosen. You guys will get to see this in our newest recordings. when you eventually see them, if you care. If an author doesn't close a quote, which they often do in these stories, the character has to stay. Basically, whoever's reading the line has to stay in character and read everything until there's another quotation mark.
Invalid got fucked with that rule.
Oh yeah, he did.
It's basically you have to be like, I'm a flying dragon, please ride me to town, said Arceus as it looked at Saki.
Yeah, and that can go on. If there's like a lot of, narration, you can end up doing that for paragraphs. It actually happened to Invalid in the recording, and it was the best thing ever.
Invalid had like 8 sentences as
The
his
only
character.
other time it happened was to me, as the Sue I'm voicing in the other one that we can't spoil, and I only had one line, so I got off so lucky.
Alright, I guess it's Frost's turn. Frost, pick another character you voiced and read the line.
Should I be the narrator?
I think I've only
Yeah, go
got
ahead.
one other good
Hey.
voice.
I narrate every single story we're gonna do in this voice, so just get ready for it. I'm a flying dragon. Please ride me to town. Okay, I'm gonna take a moment to explain my narrator voice. I know you're all probably sick of hearing talk, but the narrator voice, what I imagine for this, and this is gonna make me sound like such an asshole after you watch the little apology type video, basically the intro thing that we did for our series. I imagine the authors of these stories is just like little excited like balls of awkwardness after their computer, like, oh my god, I'm gonna write a fan fiction and it's gonna be so good and everyone's gonna love it and so that and since the narrator is kind of like, you can sort of say it's their voice, I sort of, I talk like that, and it's really painful after a long time. Keep in mind, we do about, on average, 3 to 6. That's generally where we stay in between. We do about 3 to 6 chapters at a time, and I have the narrator and usually the most speaking parts. So by the end of these things, I'm like mute.
Yeah.
Just try doing that first.
Alright.
It hurts.
Is it my turn?
Are we missing anything else? Lucas.
Oh, I'm gonna
Lucas.
do Rowan. It's my turn. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm back.
Okay, yeah, that's what we were doing. We're gonna cut out what we were talking about. It was just me being self-deprecating again. Anyway, you're gonna do your Lucas. I decided right now that every character is going to explain their own voice. Like,
Okay.
you're going to explain your own character.
As Lucas, get first, and then I'll explain the voice. I'm a flying dragon. Please ride me
To King Trace, no! You guys don't even know how appropriate that Lucas is for that line.
Yeah.
Did I cut out?
Yes, you did. You have to do it again.
Alright. I'm a flying dragon. Please ride me to town.
Did you come in your pants?
A little bit. When we read the story, when you hear Invalid's Rowan, you'll understand this better. I'm going to try not to spoil that so he can have his own limelight. But we have the envision of Lucas as this like sex slave character that basically just had sex with everyone all the time for no reason. And then when I got to the voice, we were divvying up the characters, and everybody was like, okay, so I should... And I said, I will just voice Lucas. And they're like, okay, how are you going to do it? And I'm like, I'll just sound sexy. And then I do this smoldering voice that sounds really awkward because I'm an awkward person when I talk.
Don't worry.
And when I see this, I kind of see Lucas like with giant, thick rimmed glasses rubbing his nipples sensually. Like, it's like a jarring discontinuity with how sexy...
He's never told us this, folks. So
I
this
didn't
is
even know.
This is premium content right here.
No, it's just whenever I picture Lucas when he talks, he's just like rubbing himself or like he's like grinding against people. Like that's the kind of voice I go for. And then he just sounds really awkward because I'm the one voicing him.
It works. It really does. I like your Lucas. The worst part is, I'm just gonna chime in here. Barry and Lucas talk to each other a lot, and King Trace voices both of them, and he's one of the only
Yeah.
characters who ever talks to himself.
Yeah, I'm like, hey guys, we should go to the meadow. Yeah, sounds like a good idea.
Also, after almost every one of Lucas's lines, I say something incredibly sexual. Like, there's this one part.
That's my favorite.
My favorite.
That's my favorite part of
Lucas,
voicing Lucas.
Yes, my favorite Lucas line, that we did with King Trace. I was being sake. Like, it was the part with the power plants, the Valley Windworks, where like we're stopping the break-in and everything. And we find the little girl, the daughter of the scientist, and
Oh yeah.
I'm the Sue, so I'm telling everyone what to do. And I'm like, Lucas, watch this girl, don't molest her. And that's like my favorite Lucas-related thing, because like the way King Trace personifies him or characterizes him, it's really easy to say sexual things. Like, we've already established that he's a nympho at this point.
All right.
Invalid. I think your turn.
My other good character for the story is Rowan. And Rowan, to me, was just... I was thinking, let's just make him a throwaway character. What's the easiest accent for me to do? And that's a Southerner. So I did my Southern voice, and I just like, what's the next easiest joke to make? Pedophile jokes. And he's an adult, so they work. So
This is a wholesome sporking community.
like, it really it's like the easiest character to ever do. So I was like, okay, let's go for it. And it just worked so well. And he ended up coming back again and again. So here's the voice for Rowan. Well, I almost said, connection fucking me, stall for time.
There you go.
I'm a flying dragon. Please ride me to town.
Other notable voices. The fan favorite, and by fans, I mean the three of us, is... Okay. Did you hear his explanation of Rowan?
I heard up until he's like the easiest character for me to do after he explained he was a pedophile and a Southerner.
It's okay, the audience heard it.
All I did
did he
was the
read
voice.
Yeah, it's not that. It wasn't that.
Okay,
Next, I decided we would do Mars, and I was about to say it's the
can
fan...
can I do a little talking about Rowan quick?
Sure.
Invalid's characterization of Rowan is basically the whole reason this is smoldering.
I forgot about this.
I just because Lucas follows Rowan everywhere and Rowan's a pedophile. That's really what shaped my Lucas into this crazy, sex-addicted pedophile, omnisexual.
Yeah, that's the perfect way to describe him, really.
All right, Frost, you go ahead and talk about yours.
Well, as we've said like a billion times during this entire podcast, Mars was the lesbian, and I basically thought it would be funny if I took something King Trace liked and just ruined it. And that's what I did.
You did good. You did good.
I tried. You guys made it really hard for me. But I persevered, and so far, another
did we
disappointing.
now?
Yes, you did.
That sounds kind of hard.
Another disappointing thing about this fanfic that I'm just going to add in is that she hasn't updated since like November 2012, which is sadness because we were literally having so much fun with this that like the minute I got the because I was the one of us who had the account at the time who was following her fanfiction just so we could make fun of her. Yeah, I know, we're good people. It got to the point where when she released a new chapter, like we would all just get together immediately, no matter what was happening, and just immediately start sporting.
Like, I think I remember that Yui was, like, throwing a hissy fit, and then Frost was like, hey, Shino's Chosen updated, and we're like, oh, drop this shit.
I know, because, this is how important this fanfic was to us. But, anyway. The reason I mention this is because Mars hasn't been featured since her initial appearance, and she's probably one of my favorite voices, if not the most difficult. But anyway, Mars has a really deep, like, grovelly voice, and it's supposed to be kind of lesbian-like. And, every time I do it, King Trace or Invalid can't stop laughing. And it makes it really hard. But anyway, here we
Hard,
go.
I like that.
No, I don't, because I'm a lesbian.
Read
Anyway.
the line, though.
I'm a flying dragon. Please take me to town. Ride me to town.
Ride me to town for us. There we go.
I'm a flying dragon. Please ride me to town.
Please let me ride you to town.
Because I'm a lesbian. Like, I don't even know why I made her a lesbian, because she's honestly not, like, lesbian-like at all. If that's even a thing.
I always thought she was super cute, and when Frost did that voice, I just pictured it coming out of, like, little delicate Mars, and her having this deep, baritone, butch
My
voice.
favorite line in the whole thing, which is probably the most immature line of them all. Like, this is probably the most immature line that came from any of us in the entire thing so far. It's when Sake and Mars are battling, and Mars sends out her Perugly, and I just like, my line was, just try and beat my pussy. I can't even say it without cracking up.
If we recorded this, it would be a 13-minute video. 3 minutes of us reading it, and 10 minutes of laughing at that joke.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was so proud of it too, because like I have this lesbian and she's talking about this little girl beating her pussy. Every lesbian in the world hates me now.
This is like a DVD extra. Like
I know,
that's how
I feel about this.
I don't care.
We're so
like
pretentious, too. I feel bad.
I don't care if we're pretentious. Fuck pretentious. I'm gonna talk about what I want. Everyone already hates us at this point.
The
The
only other character I've ever done that I really liked was I'm dumb. I can't think of the name.
Grunts?
What?
If you don't talk about the Mickey Mouse grunts, I don't even know you.
What?
There was a grunt. One of the grunts trying to steal honey. You made him Mickey Mouse.
Oh.
Yeah. There were two grunts: the wimp grunt and the reasonable grunt, and you made the wimp grunt into like this Mickey Mouse.
No.
Yeah.
It was actually reversed.
Oh, right.
I just watched it because it was ironic and hilarious because Mickey Mouse was like the tough guy, and the tough guy voice actually went to the guy who was like, "I've never talked to a girl before."
No. Well, I don't consider it like one of the good voices. Mickey Mouse voice is really easy to do. It's like, "Hi, I'm Mickey." Like you don't have.
It was hilarious. I don't care what you say. I loved it.
All right. I'm a flying dragon. Please ride me to town.
Woohoo!
I think I only voiced Barry and Lucas, so I don't know if I have any other characters to talk about.
You did, Cyrus.
Oh, I did do Cyrus. I tried to make him sound like Cyrus. That's the thing.
But the dialogue just didn't work.
Yeah, when I did it, I was like, I'm a flying dragon. Please, ride me to town. Like, an evil, demanding, charismatic voice. And what I ended up saying was like, I'm kind of late for the loser convention.
Yes, it's pretty awful. Invalid also Invalid's job is he does all of the supporting roles. Generally he takes on all of them. While King Trace and I do the main recurring.
Normally.
We switched it up, though.
Yeah.
Huh?
For the one that's coming out, though.
Yeah, Invalid's actually the star.
Yeah.
And Val is the star, and I'm all the bit characters, and Frost is the female lead.
Yes, that's how it usually goes, because unfortunately I am the only one who's blessed with a female voice.
We do, in one of our ones that's coming up, we do have me as a woman, so look forward to that.
He doesn't have any lines, though. It's kind of disappointing.
But
he did a good job, but he didn't get that many lines.
Female voice, I thought, and I don't get to say anything.
Yeah.
Like,
That's also another thing that I'd like we don't read ahead. Like, that's what I pride myself on, is that. But we divvy out lines. We don't know who's going to say what at all, and that's why we think it's entertaining.
It's fun for us. I mean, it probably doesn't affect anyone else, but it makes it a lot more fun for us.
You dropped. You dropped it like it's...
I'm back.
Okay.
But for us, it's better if we don't know what's coming. So that's why, like, it would make sense if we were, like, professional fuckfaces, if we were just going to be like, oh, okay, you have this many lines, and this is what you're going to say, so be prepared. Like, because the voices are so, like, impromptu, like, I didn't know that, like, I remember one part in the recording with Mars, her voice actually really hurts my throat, especially when combined with, like, a narrator's voice. But basically, I didn't know that she was going to have this giant 2-part monologue. And I did that voice anyway. I didn't know it was coming. And then when it comes up, I was like, oh shit.
You did get like 60-second breaks while Invalid and I tried to shut up.
Yes. But like, that's just an example of how us not knowing what's coming really adds to the experience for everyone.
Like now that you've heard my Lucas voice, just imagine how elated we were when we realized that she had written him as a bisexual.
Oh yes, it was like we were so proud of ourselves. Like, we knew it.
Yeah.
Actually, if you Google this story, which nobody will because nobody got this far, but if you do, look at the review, and Invalid was so proud of himself, he wrote, as a review, I knew Lucas was bi.
I'm actually hoping that maybe if our sporks garner some success, these literally will be like DVD extras.
I know, me too. It's so bad.
I have an idea, actually. What if we broke up all the parts about the story from this podcast and just made them into their own video and just called it, like, sporking cine... Like, I don't know what we would call it. We could do it, though.
If we ever revisited Xenos, if, like, in, like, a year, we have, like, 1 million viewers, if that's even conceivable, I would like to do a Sinnoh's Chosen special where we do Sinnoh's Chosen someday in the future.
The sad thing is that if we do have fans, they would basically miss out because they wouldn't get the candid material. Unless it was like so long from now that we just forgot everything.
Yeah.
How can you forget this?
You can't.
Well,
how can you...
I almost forgot about Ash, but you reminded me of that.
I would have forgot. My favorite, like, a character I want to bring back, is Kingtree still there?
Yeah.
Okay. This one isn't from Sinnoh's Chosen. It's from, Chrono Cross. And Frost, I know you really like this one. The only reason I like it's because you like it, and I know you only like it because it's so bad.
Before he goes into it, Invalid and I did our little own thing. It's not recorded or anything at all, and I already finished the game. But I played Chrono Cross, and he basically watched, and we did voice acting together because apparently the three of us just fucking love voice acting things. But we also had quirky voices for that. And Invalid's going to talk about that now.
What was her name? She was,
Uranus.
Uranus?
Mermaid? Uranus.
Uranus? And, he was, somewhere from the Norwegian Isle, I believe.
Yes.
And her voice went, I'm a flying dragon, please ride me to town.
That was the best thing ever.
Please ride me. No.
I know now that we mentioned Chrono Cross, they're going to try and get me to do French Harley, and I'm not going to do it.
Please ride me to town.
Uranus just killed me because she had like Norwegian accent marks everywhere, and he didn't know what they meant, so he just did that.
I came in the next day, and Invalid and Frost were still talking about it, and I'm like, what are you guys talking about with the mermaid? And Invalid said, oh, I did a really racist Norwegian voice with iambic pentameter.
Yes, it's the best way to describe it, really. Any Chrono Cross fans out there are probably like this forever.
I played Chrono Cross up until we broke into Viper Manor. That's where I am in Chrono Cross.
Well,
I cheated. I love Harley.
I get a pass because people say I look like a Swede, so whatever.
And that's what Norwegians are.
Like, I do agree now that I think about it that the impromptu is the best.
It is.
Because we have Invalid Southern pedophile voice right from the start, before I even turned Lucas into a sex fiend.
And it just, when it clicks, it's so satisfying.
Yeah, when Invalid said to Lucas, now go on and hand me my ball.
I know.
And I'm like, oh my god, this is really happening. She wrote this.
It writes itself.
Invalid was a pedophile like seconds before this line happened, and then he's talking about getting balls.
And our reaction to that will also probably amuse people.
Oh, go ahead. I don't remember it.
No, not our actual reaction. I meant like our reactions to when things happen like that.
Right. Like, I'm so excited about what's coming up that I really want to talk about it, but I can't. But you guys are gonna love.
If you honestly,
you guys are gonna love this stuff.
Invalid and I can like pull like the worst all-nighter ever and edit it.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna say.
Then we won't. We'll do it tomorrow.
All right, but
or Monday. We'll do it eventually.
It'll be
once that's all released and famous, we can do a character analysis for that too. Because we were all the same chapter of this story, and I don't know how it ends or if it ends.
Yeah, it's actually going to be all new to us.
Yeah, it might be incomplete. Like, I really don't know.
Although, I have some hope for King Trace and some people who are maybe looking forward to... I know, I sound so, like, full of myself right now. Like, this is actually going to happen. But if anyone actually gives a flying fuck about Sinnoh's chosen this and how we've ranted about it for, like, 2 hours straight, there is the possibility... Because the funny thing is, with this story, we actually did the first chapter, like, months ago before we started doing it recently. And we forgot about it completely, and we were able to do the first chapter, and it was completely fresh and everything.
Yeah. And
then Invalid like dug up this old recording of the first chapter that we did, and I haven't watched it, but he says that it was the one we actually did now is better, and I didn't remember anything, so maybe it's possible. But to be fair, the story doesn't leave nearly as much as an impact as Sinnoh's Chosen does.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty fun though to like look at what we have now, and it's not even that like great. It's not like we're being professional or anything. But after what we just recorded recently, and then I can look at the old recording, and I look at it and I'm like, it's so amateurish.
Yeah, but we're here in this new recording, and when someone busts out a funny voice for a character, we're like. But we don't like stop to analyze why it's funny because we've done it before. We've had someone do a stupid voice for a character, and we were expecting it, and we just roll with it.
What always gets me is that like we always act like we knew that Rowan should be a pedophile, that we knew that like we should be bi. We totally didn't.
No.
And that's the best. The best part is that we didn't know those things.
No, we hadn't read it further.
Yes, exactly. Like, we act like, oh, it totally makes sense that this would happen.
Yeah, but we made some pretty astounding... her writing, it's almost like she wrote the story for us to make fun of it.
Honestly, it kind of does work that way, especially later on. Like when we legit offer her criticisms, and then she starts posting chapters after that.
Yeah, but she made Rowan talk about balls all the time, and she made Lucas the most awkward sexual person in the cast, and she made Barry so head-poundingly stupid that my voice fit.
And I just did a Sue, so...
Yeah, any Sue fits the first voice.
I knew she was going to be a Sue. I have, like, a universal Sue voice that works for every Sue. Yeah, I might get flack for this, but, the Sue from this story and the female Sue... I say female because the story that we're going to post, one of them actually has a male lead Sue. But anyway, her voice is like exactly like Saka's. I don't even try to hide it.
They are the same... Did you say they're the same person? Because you kind of stabbed
them. They pretty much are the same person. They're based off of the same person.
He writ them to be the same person.
Pretty much. So, I mean, that's not
they are really supposed to be the same person, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
Although, I'm pretty sure... I'm going to go on a limb and say that King Trace and Invalid will attest to my vocal range that I apparently have.
Yeah. I agree.
Do I have one or not?
Yeah.
You can go from elderly woman to teenage Sue within moments. So.
To elderly man.
It's very, very painful. Don't do it. Especially when I'm sick. Like, I remember one recording we did, I had the worst cold, but it was Sinnoh's Chosen, it was updated, so I was like, fuck my sickness. And I regretted it so hard.
No, I remember that. Frost was like, I'm sick, but I'm going to do it anyway. And then we get in there, and the narrator won't shut up.
I know.
It's like it always feels like it's that day, the day that you can't do it, that you have to do it the most.
It's because it becomes that day. It's not that it is. It's that the narrator voice is honestly, it's tied with Mars's voice for the most difficult voice for me to.
And those are the two voices with the highest payoff.
Right.
Not really. Like, for some reason, the narrator voice just doesn't get old. And Mars' voice is just a riot, apparently.
Like,
Because
immediately...
we're always imagining the innocent, stupid narrator. Like,
Well, that's also what I'm thinking.
Yeah. When I did... Immediately after I selected Barry, I'm like, did I really just pick a voice that makes my voice crack every time I do it?
It works. Just
For
hurts.
For the main character.
I have
Like,
a question for you.
if you...
Does it hurt? Do your voices hurt?
Barry's does. Nobody else's does.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad for you. Everything hurts for me.
Barry's... When I did Barry's voice, if these recordings are unearthed at some point,
I'm hoping
there are times when I'm doing it on purpose, where I'm like, I'm a flying dragon! But there are other times when my voice legitimately cracks during Barry's lines, and you can tell that my voice just gave out in the middle of being Barry, and it just...
Oh yeah.
It just sounds so silly that it works.
in the middle of being Barry. That's so perfect.
My favorite thing is when we pick a voice. This always happens to me. And you pick a voice, and you don't realize the consequences of that voice until you're like toward the bottom of the page, and you're like, why did I do this? I'm going to become a mute. And that's what King Crace. That's what King Crace is talking about.
Yeah. I'm kind of I don't know if the word's greedy, lazy, but I tend to pick voices that I already know I can do, so I don't get that problem too much.
It works, though. It really works for you. Like, you do voices that you can do well, I think.
When I first started doing... Lucas didn't hurt my voice. He murdered my pride. When I started doing Lucas's voice, I'm like, I'm going to have to read every single line as a 14-year-old sex magnet.
I don't know why we thought Lucas was a sex magnet.
But...
He's not even, like, anything special.
Get it?
Yeah, I know.
Wait, get it? Because bi guys are hot? Nothing? I think King Trace died.
Yeah.
My immortal.
No, I didn't die.
No, he didn't.
It's because Invalid was a pedophile, so I had to be a sex slave. And then I'm here reading these lines like, hey, here's the town map. And I'm like, do I really have to do this for every line? But I got over it by, like, the first part of the first chapter I was Lucas. I'm like, yeah, I have to do this for every line.
The funnest part is that you ask yourself that, but you're the only one making you do it.
I know.
You're, like, condemning
Frost,
yourself.
Like, Frost is like, why am I speaking in this high-pitched narrator voice? And then it's like, because you're doing it. That's why you're doing it.
Exactly. It is...
Invalid is a lucky bastard, because... I could do Southern. We're both from a similar area.
Yeah.
I am way too snobby Northern to do Southern. I fail at it so hard.
Like, one time, this wasn't for any story, we were just having a conversation. We just talked Southern to each other for like 10 minutes about nothing. And it was like, how do we have normal voices?
and like, it gets so much easier.
I could do it,
when
and Invalid got lucky to pick a character that he could do it reasonably on.
Yeah.
His voice... Invalid does voices that are easy, but they're always...
But there's only two characters in that. Well, three that could have been. Rowan, Cyrus, or Walker. Like, and the other two were so inconsequential.
Who's Walker? You mean Looker?
Yeah, Looker. Shut up.
Walker.
Walker,
Did you do
Texas
Looker?
Ranger. Would I do Looker?
Did you?
Oh.
Yeah, Invalid voice Looker.
What was Looker?
I forget.
I think I just tried to modify Lucas into an adult.
Yes, that's what he did. He also made Looker into a pedophile sex fiend, but he did it in like this adult voice and had all these authority lines like, "Here's my number." It was like, ew.
Another thing, I usually make my sues into giant whores for some reason.
Yeah. Frost
Even
likes to
though
talk
they're...
about, Frost loves to talk about vaginas.
Oh, it's a problem. Like, she's talking about, like, she says she has a hyperspace bag, and I transform it into a hyperspace vagina.
Okay, one more thing I want to
She ha-
hear. Turtle Sue.
Turtle Sue.
Yeah, was that King
Turtle
Trace?
Sue.
That was
Yes,
Trace.
What was my Turtle Sue voice?
I think it was just, like, Burial as a Pokemon.
Yeah, I feel like that's
Which
what
is
it
why
was.
it works.
I think, yeah, I definitely. What was it? Just like a high pitched very?
Yeah. I think you had any lines. I think you just said your name.
Yeah, I had very minimal lines, but my Turtle Sue voice I got for one sentence, and I made it into Barry. It was like, "I'm a flying dragon. Please ride me to town."
It take the Barry voice that already makes him crack,
It
and
was
somehow
like-
we decided it would be a good idea to make it even higher.
It's just like super innocent Barry.
Yeah, it was. But the good news is that character had one line, so I'm not gonna. I didn't have to do Elmo voice and Barry voice at the same time,
If
which
she
would have.
still, if she decides to update, you never know.
She
'Cause-
updates with a chapter from Turtle Sue's perspective.
If she does that, I quit.
You know what I really thought, like, for a while? That she was hacking my computer and listening to our recordings and then writing for them.
I know.
Only.
We get to a chapter where Rowan is clearly creepy, Cyrus is clearly stupid, Barry is being dumb, Sakai is being a Sue, and Lucas is being hot, and we're like, we don't even have to pretend anymore. She's just writing it.
Yes, I think that's actually what we said, that we don't have to pretend. I think for some reason, if you told me that was going to happen, I would thought it would have gotten less fun, but that just made it better.
I hope she updates. I hope that she comes on the YouTube and sees this. Like, she Googles her own story one day.
She won't
it's
make
like-
it through this.
She'll be like,
Yeah,
holy
but she gets...
shit. These guys
Someone
talked
made, like,
about
a-
it. These guys talked about it longer than it took me to write it.
I talked about it for like 6 hours straight,
But I hope she does it and is like, you know what? Chapter 21 doesn't sound like a bad idea.
Plus, it'd only take me 2 minutes.
Yeah, she takes like so... I mean, her chapters are decent in length most of the time, but you can tell that she just like rushes through them so badly.
I now get why she called Eterna the Eternal Forest, because she intends to keep her characters there forever.
I know, right? I'm mostly worried that her boyfriend's not gonna update, because,
Yeah, we're
Like-
doing him now.
yeah, and we've just gotten attached to that fic, and we're using it to fill the void in our heart that's left by the part of Sinnoh's Chosen that just won't update, and, yeah, I'm worried that, I kind of blame King Trace, because he was, like, really harsh with her, and I told him that it might scare her off the internet, and he didn't listen.
She wrote 5 more chapters after we stopped talking for us.
Maybe eventually it just worked out, and she was like, I know they're judging me.
You know, I'm
No-
happy, though, to have OCs. Like,
What do you mean?
original characters in this...
I know what an OC is.
No, I mean...
Oh, you mean in the...
in the story, because this way we don't
Right.
have to know anything at all about the canon. Like, I think we could go into any fandom and find a shitty story. If it has all OCs, it doesn't matter.
Let's call this a 30 super pileup.
Like, if anybody made it this far, and this is getting to be a huge stretch, but if anybody made it this far, give us some stories to do. Please. We don't care what fandom, we don't care on what website, though fanfiction would be nice. Just any terrible fanfiction that we could do,
Okay,
please.
before he finishes, I'm gonna lay down some ground rules.
Yeah, go ahead,
it's
Mom.
not terrible just because it has OCs. It's not terrible because it has Yaoi or Yuri.
Yeah,
It's not
please.
terrible because of the pairing. It's not terrible because of girl preferences. It has to be, like, objectively bad. Like, preferably it has to be full of typos. That's usually a pretty bad sign. Like, the characters have to be poorly written. Everything has to be bad. It can't just be like, well, I hate Slash, so I'm gonna recommend this terrible gay story.
Let me tell you about this.
They're gonna make fun of how
There's
gay
a
it
Let's
is.
Play, a very popular one, of Sonic 2006, where the guys who were reading it did this little contest that they had a bunch of little things that you had to do as you were listening, to win something on their forums. And one of their contests was find the worst piece of Sonic the Hedgehog inspired fanfiction. Not fanfiction,
Art.
fan art. Yeah, fan art. And what ended up winning that was a humanized Sonic and a humanized Tails in a sexual position. And the drawing was well done. The only thing about it that anyone would find horrible was that it was yaoi. And I'm like, you know what? You guys were funny up until now.
Yeah, don't like if anyone is actually still like watching at this point, which is as we've been repeating, unlikely. Don't do that.
Especially
Like-
since we've vocalized that at least I am bi.
Yes,
I'm bi.
but it's not cool. Okay, like if don't hate on something because it's got something in it you don't like. Like I don't care if it's fucking furry or gay or lesbian or but I hate lesbian. Like we don't
Or really kinky dirty bondage.
Yes. Like, people like that stuff, and just because you don't doesn't mean that it's terrible. So don't
Though-
do that.
I will say about really kinky dirty bondage. If it's IKEA erotica,
Oh, gross.
which is my favorite TV trope, IKEA erotica. Send it. I love IKEA erotica. It's the funniest stuff ever. It's like when
Oh, yeah.
it's like you could have like the author writes sex as if you're supposed to be assembling furniture.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to participate in those.
But
I don't know if we can do a lemon. At
Yeah,
all.
I know. Are we allowed to do that? Will they
Well-
find us?
I don't. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. Invalid and I did a story with like gay torture in it, and Invalid was drunk off his mind while he was reading it.
That really happened in My Immortal.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh right, these two have also done the My Immortal drinking game. If you care about any of this at this point, it's obviously because you like fanfiction. So, you probably know what that is. If you want to see two people acting like total fuckheads and one of them being drunk, go watch that series.
No, I
Look,
mean,
I have to
go ahead.
I have to clarify. I wasn't drinking.
I know, I said one of them.
Right. I wasn't drinking. I'm too young to drink. And Valid probably shaved 10 years off of his life.
I
lighthearted.
really only drank like 12. Yeah, 12. That's more than I ever drank before that in my life. But I drank like 12 in one sitting is all.
Oh, yeah,
He did
that-
this twice.
it was
He did this twice, by the way.
It was a 6-pack of 16 ounces, so that counts as 8. I think it counts as 9 12-ounce cans. And then there were 5 bottles. Shit. That's like 14 cans.
So we were reading My Immortal with this torturous drinking game where you have to take a drink whenever she misspells a word as a different word or misspells the character's name or mentions getting dressed. And we would count these things in horribly against Invalid's favor. Like every article of clothing when she describes getting dressed was an individual drink. And if a character's name was misspelled as a real word, that and Invalid ended up getting so drunk he thought his room was growing.
You need to watch this if you're a fan of drunken debauchery and
This is after the video, so I feel good talking about it. I was pissed at him, by the way, at this point, but I was still talking to him because he sounded lost and scared. I was because we made the last part of the video, and we were all good, ready to say goodbye to My Immortal, and Invalid says, King Trace? And I'm like, what, John? And he said, I think I clicked delete when I meant to click save. And I'm like, you didn't. And he's like, yeah, I did. Fuck you, John. Fuck it. Okay, we gotta do it again. But after the video, we were still talking, and he's like, King Trace, I'm really scared. This room started as 8x8, but as we've been talking, it totally grew to 12 by... None
Sure.
like...
We'll be talking about all of this.
Did I cut out again?
No.
Oh yeah, I'm back. But yeah. Also, he has a thumbnail where he's so drunk that he's pointing to God. What he was really doing was counting his sips, but his head is back and his eyes are closed. And it looks like he's saying, "That's my man. That's God."
Oh, you two. This is what they were doing before I got in on this stuff.
There was one time that we did something really dumb, and we were like, I can't wait till Frost comes on and yells at us for doing this. Do you remember what it was, John?
Was it the Bible thing?
No, it wasn't the Bible. It was earlier than that.
In case
We
you
did
guys
something
haven't
like,
guessed,
we did a recording or we did something bad.
In case you guys
I
haven't
think-
guessed, yeah, I am the one who has the moral compass. And that's saying something because I've been called some pretty horrible things.
That or
yeah.
you're the prude. I'm not sure.
I wouldn't call me a prude either.
You take us three jackasses, and it takes one of us to say, I think you crossed the line when you started using the F word every other word.
Oh, I swear way too much.
What
I swear
was it? I can't remember.
You do remember that this happened, though, right?
Yeah, I know.
But it was something we did, and it was like, oh my god, it was totally one of our songs.
Was it Skittles? No.
It was, we were talking about that we were writing, I Kissed a Boy.
Oh. Did we upload
You remember
that?
that we were writing? No, we never uploaded it. And then we did You're So Straight as a follow-up spiritually.
But we did upload that.
We did upload that one. And when we did You're So Straight, I think, we recorded the whole thing, and then Frost is like, so what have you guys been doing? And I'm like, this is the first time Frost ever asked this question, so I'm like, can you see into the future? And,
I think it's not the first time I've ever asked you a question.
that specific question.
Oh.
And, we were like, nothing. like mommy just found us in the cookie jar.
Apparently I'm their mommy.
And, Frost is like, okay, what kind of nothing?
I know everything.
And we're like, just a little song. And he's like, yeah? What kind of song? It's about gay people. You guys didn't.
What kind?
You didn't upload it, did you? And it just went like that for a while, and I guess we got grounded or something.
I don't even remember. I probably gave them a very fierce talking to.
Well, first he thought we were making an anti-gay song, but after we saw the lyrics, he thought we were just being really stupid.
Oh, I always think they're being really stupid. Don't worry about that.
Oh, please. Who's the one that... I could swear you're the one that came up with Karasuke's voice.
It wasn't.
You did it as a joke, and we made you do it.
It's just a joke. Well, no, it wasn't are you sure it wasn't for the bird, or it wasn't for the Piplup, because the Piplup was named Queen?
Oh, the Piplup. I don't even remember.
I don't remember who I sang for now.
You sang for the Starly.
Why would I sing for the Starly when the Piplup was named Queen?
Because the bird Sue was such a Sue, it had to sing.
Yes, so, did we say it was more Stewish than like its owner?
It's more. So. It was more Stewish than Sakai. Honestly, this stupid bird.
I wish someone would tell us how to
light it on
that
fire.
Shit.
Fucking.
Someone needs to tell me how to pronounce her name, because I'm the only one who has to say it.
I think it's Sake.
I don't know.
Sakai.
Well, King Trace, I'm the only one out of all of us who has to say it ever because I'm the narrator. The two of you just call her Sue.
I'm supposed to, but I always forgot to.
I changed my mind about the pronoun thing.
Yeah, after we've already recorded everything.
Well, no, she might update someday.
Someday, you're gonna run across my mind.
But anyway...
You know what? You guys wanna group compose a review begging her to continue the story?
No.
I don't either.
I
just
think
do it
honestly, if we try and if she finds out about this, I think she'll never do it again.
I'm happy to move
Yeah.
on, really.
Yeah, I think
Alright.
I could at this point. I think we had a good run. If she
Yeah.
does update, I will definitely want to get back into it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I really wish she would. We just introduced Cheryl, who I don't even remember who was voicing Cheryl, and I don't even remember what her voice was.
Probably me.
Probably you.
I don't know what I did for her at all, because the last recording we did is just gone.
All I think of
But
when I think of
I
Cheryl
remember,
is my avatar that one time.
I remember it being good. I really do.
Oh, that time.
Trace, is it wrong
Yeah.
that I remember it being a good recording?
No.
I
Of course not.
honestly think it was good, and it makes me want to find it, but I can't because it's on invalid, stupid computer.
Yeah, I think it's about time we
About time
up before we
You what?
I think he's gonna say about time we wrap up.
start reminiscing until we start reminiscing. Yeah, I said about time we wrap this up.
Yeah.
Oh
Before
my
we start
God.
reminiscing. Before the
Yeah.
sun comes up.
All right, see you guys.
That
Bye.
was
Team Hentai
long.
signing off. I'm invalid.
I'm King Trace.
I'm annoying. You know you are.